This is the Wabash Carnegie Oral History program, George Dingledy, and it's Monday, 11th of February, 1985, and I'm interviewing Michael J. Teal on our Vietnam Veterans series. That the name is Michael E. Teal, T-E-A-L. Mike, I think what I'm going to start out is, first of all, tell me when and where you were born and who your parents were.
I was born in Marion, Indiana, Trenton County, December 1st, 1948.
And who was your mom and dad?
My mother, her name was Lady Glover, Vision Marion lady. I didn't really know my dad until later on after I got out of service, kind of bringing him in. Me and stepdad I had, so he got on an accident on a machinery outfit and got killed.
I
wasn't really too close. I wasn't close to my stepdad.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really. I was about probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. Then what was your real name then? Teal?
That's my mother's maiden name.
Your mother's maiden name. And your dad's name then would be?
Teal. T-E-E-R.
T-E-E-R. Right. Now, he lives now?
Yeah, they live in Michigan up around Traverse City.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have any brothers and sisters?
On my stepdad, I had 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Yeah. You all got along together?
Yeah, pretty much so. You know, like the kids do.
Yeah.
You know, when I felt out with my dad now, I come find out I'm the oldest one of that family. Carol, Pam, Janet, Bonnie, George, and Joe.
And that's just a T-E-E-R side of the family.
He married a girl that my mother used to run around with as kids in the Marion, Upland, Cascade, Denver area. We used to live and they must have had the same guy or whatever, you know, I don't know how it was. I'm not going to talk too much about it, so I don't talk too much about that.
Okay, but I think that what you're going to find is that your grandchildren or somebody 50 years from now is going to say, hey, I never knew this, and this gives me another avenue of genealogy or something like that. How about your grandparents then? Were you acquainted with your grandparents?
It'd be my wife.
On your mother's side. That's
right.
On your mother's side.
And it'd be my wife's mother, or my mother's mother, my grandmother. She lived in Marion.
And their name was?
Her last name was Teal.
Teal.
First name was Lily.
Yeah.
He buried over at the Idaho West Cemetery in Marion.
Buried there?
Yeah. 1962.
Yeah. Do you remember them as a kid? Yeah. How about that?
I always enjoyed going there all the time, because, you know, it's always had cake or something, or ice cream, or some baked cookies. They did a lot of baking. So she worked for News Drive-In at that time. I think to go down there and have a drive-in, had a little news theater behind it.
That was...
And on the bypass there.
Yeah, I'll be done. Tell me about your early education. Where did you go to grade school?
I went to various grade schools in Marion because we moved around quite a bit. I went to Lincoln School, Worcester School, Clayton Brown. Went to the old Martin Beach at West Ham High School and went over Horse Man and went to the old high school. So I ended up at the new 26th Street Main High for last year.
Did you graduate?
Not quite. I had about 3 months to go.
Yeah,
I dropped out 3 times and went back, and I just finally dropped out and went back in.
Did you ever get a GED diploma?
I was working on that vocational school for about a year and a half ago, and I really finished that up. I'm still working on the workbook. Wanted to get that started.
Get that finished. Yeah, pretty good. Well, what did you do after you dropped out of high school for the last time? And you would have been, how old would you be?
I was about, probably 17.
Yeah.
18. Worked in a gas station. Nice job. With cars, you know, truck holds. Well, he actually was a former mayor of Marion, Fred Wiggly, and ran that gas station, Shell Station, like Tim Reed. And his brother worked there, and I worked with his brother because he was about the same age. He was younger than I was, at least. Worked the night shift, and that's of course across the street because an old Texas out there, and we just had a blast there. Because on Tuesday, Barry's Texas, and $1 bucks of gas, and always really in there. So I just didn't really do chemicals. We just worked the truck had a heart. The guy had several trucks that had Hearts Mountain, or food desk flywheel. He had to go and work his truck and nights and work his truck. Pretty job. Then I went to the fan there with Sandy was driving in. It was Wendy's right now. Worked there for a while. I got booked back to that place for a while. And I got me a job at General Tiremill, which was for over a year and a half, almost 2 years. And first thing I was doing kids to do, they get more high, I think they're going to meet me and that. We got talking about service stuff. I said, well, let's all join. Somebody said, and I had uncles in the Air Force for 20-some years. Right, my mother's there. That's what took me a while. And he took me to the Air Force. I said, no, I don't think we're going to the Air Force. I got something different. So we met a few other guys. We got to think, how about the Army and Marines? I said, well, how about the Navy? Well, let's get out to the recruiters. So we talked to recruiters off and on for 3 or 4 months. We finally decided to see the Navy. So we 3 of us signed up. About 10 days or 4 days later, we got the same day we went.
What date was it?
It could be, I want to say around January 69.
January 69? Okay.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
They picked up breath at 9 to Indianapolis.
And from Indianapolis?
They picked up for one night, gave 3 meals, but of course the whole place was there. The hotel tore down now. And across the street was the place where you had to pour everything, put the right hand up and they said to throw it in there. They did the same thing. And you slept there next night. The next morning I'd get out and I went to Buster to the airport to see Wabash Carnegie. You came up about 3 o'clock in the morning.
You arrived at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, at the San Diego airport, and I will forget that as long as I ever lived. And we made a, and then Corporal come up there and a sergeant, and all this GI outfit, and boy, and those were kids, from off Sequoia, from all over the United States was in up out there. I think there was about 40 of them. There was somebody from Mexico, from Arizona, New York, and some had long hair and beads, no shoes on some of them. Some had coats and stuff on like I did because I lived in winter. Anyway, I said, wow, what is this? And I sat at the airport and there were people walking by and just giving us a look for my first funeral or something. And he said, bus on this bus. And that corporal said, yeah, you guys got cigarettes or tobacco or film or anything like that. I said, we're still in, they'll take it away from us. After we got something like that, after we did that, if you look back at that, but that corporal was making it himself easy for he using it for himself. So everybody was scared when they first speak. They got off the bus and sit on a yellow footprint. They had 45-degree angle. And pistol. None of us knew what pistol was at that time. Just be quiet. And the DI walked down and tapped somebody on the shoulder and starts calling your names. I feel that, kind of gets mad. Because we're all tired anyway. I knew I was. And then I did it later. That's about 4:30 in the morning. Buzzed in there, got the airport. After we got out of there, we all went to another building and took off our civilian clothes. And they had to box them up, put them back to your mother, or your mommy, or your daddy, and they always kept calling their parents mommy and daddy, like she was just a little baby. And then a few of us kind of went mad. It bothered me too much, it was all too experience. I kind of get testing all the time. That's a good deal. And then they get that, skip that box out, and we're in your underwear. And then you see your a slip shirt, tennis shoes, and a pair of green pigs. And you have to go to the building and get the rest of the stuff in a tea bag. And then we marched us for 2 hours, and it started raining around San Diego, back and forth, getting, have to go back and forth and getting there, get the stuff. And it stopped trying to fall out for Teal, what you call it.
For breakfast.
For breakfast, right.
Yeah.
Teal, like a new word for me there right there for mess hall, that's it, that's their intention, all this. We was all tired. We ate, we went back now, you got to get your brakes, get all squared away, had to go down and get a supply, get the pillow, get the blanket, the 2 blankets, for the sheet. And we get ready to see what they needed, had to get some more things. We're in the Marines now, we're going to be your mom and dad, we're going to be your parents. You can't write home for nothing. They're not sending nothing because you're going out to suffer the consequences. So what's this to this? This can't went too bad. It was some good times. And, it was all very good to me because I sort of kind of straightened up, it was that initial shock at boot camp and just off at plane there. Every Sunday was like free time. You drug all your stuff out in the middle of the cluster huts that we had. Put the light on a pile out of the cluster huts where it was there. And put out front till we boot camp and on your foot locker and you write to home or write letters to whoever and clean your import cleans after they had the clean this and all that. Throw your clothes away and come back there. Pretty personal Sundays. I always did this, so it kept me out of some detail. I didn't really get to see all details though, but
Did they what happened to all these guys with the beards and their beads and those shoes? I can't believe a man showing up with no shoes.
Well, there was. I didn't know. But like I said, that first, on the footprints, we all looked like a bunch of, from all over the world, like hippies or whatever, But the next few days, we all looked the same. We all had the same kind of clothes on, and her hair was all cut short. And the ones that had an earring or beads, they was all gone, They got stuff away from them. You get the meat things, you play with them.
Did you find basic training tough, or were you in pretty good physical shape? Or?
I was kind of skinny inside that time, and they had to fatten me up a little bit, and I suppose they put me on like a diet and get me some weight on. I was a little bit under weight, but to beat me, I'd eat an extra meal or two a day. And then I got to where I was drinking this weight, and I had to put me on a diet to slow me down.
One or the other.
Yeah. So then you thought for PT all the time, And boot camp would be the roughest part of the training, I'd say. We had 8 weeks boot camp. I built that too.
As you look back now, was it an enjoyable experience to be?
As I look back out now, I was all enjoyable. The whole boot camp, all the ICRs, called in training, we got Camp Hamilton, we qualified with 114 and rifle and the M45 pistol. So I went out for a few in the West. I went out for 51, but the reconnaissance patrol and 2500 radio out there.
Well, when you finished the 8 weeks of boot camp, and then what did you do?
We had about 10 days leave.
10 days leave.
I didn't really come back to Marion again. I stayed out around California.
You didn't come home at all?
No, that's the first time. Then I took that reconnaissance training, about 3 weeks training.
Where was that at?
After San Diego, also there, Camp Hamilton area.
Okay.
And
what did that consist of?
Just basically teaching how to keep in the villages or something like that, because you don't see, you already knew this.
You knew you were going to go to
right,
Vietnam, sooner or later.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then just teach the reconnaissance, you got about a week, anywhere from 8, 10 to 12, maybe 15 or 16 guys. And you go through and kind of like, it's like that patrol on TV to see. And had a few guys check things out and see if you can do any picking up or you have to work for words, kind of go in and keeping these villages and things.
But you'd been out of basic, then did they sort of ease up on you?
Yeah, so after boot camp, it wasn't like the fun, but like rough.
Yeah.
It wasn't that rough, really.
Yeah.
Maybe possibly rough,
Then you got more liberty and so forth.
Yeah, on weekends, when I took rail trains, I also cut for about 3 weeks too.
Yeah.
Between reconnaissance and rail train, I got to come home for leave. I think about 10 days. But, I didn't really do much at home. I was all excited, but all this. Because they went to school with was kind of shied away from me because I think they were just trying to keep me going because that's one of the years was getting all by for draft and everybody was running away from the draft cars and not registering stuff service. That kind of hurt me a little bit.
I was going to say, did that have much of an effect on you?
At that time,
Was there anybody active out on the West Coast trying to get you to run to Canada or anything else? Or?
I never ran into my like that. No, I went to those fight on weekends, and had a UFO club there. They had a big place, they had no coverage, and they picked up for night. I didn't have anybody running there. You guys think they went to Tijuana, but I went once. I didn't really mess with them. So get down to Tijuana, you mess up another law, you don't come back. I'm at Tijuana next time. A guy sneaking out there all the time. Went down.
In uniform?
Yeah, dress uniform.
Yeah.
Went to Anaheim, Walt Disney World a couple times. Didn't really write on it, just kind of walk around because felt proud of that uniform, you feel all young, ones that wasn't married or something. Just like for women or something. I was looking around to see girls in the street.
So you guys were traveling together too?
Yeah, it was about 4 or 5 of us together,
Yeah.
We're usually running about 6 of them together, because they tell you to do that because somebody can always pick on you or something, and we're 6 of you together, you're all in a group.
Less likely to get into trouble.
Yeah, right. So if one gets in trouble, the others are going to beat them out real fast before you get too much.
Okay, so we finished the one phase of training, now you're going back to Pendleton for another phase.
Yeah, for the radio communication.
Radio communication? Yeah, okay. Now what did that consist of? You had the reconnaissance, now you're going into radio.
I learned how to operate the radios, various types of radios, how they make a quick check or repair them, if something quit wrong with them, turn it back on and fix them. Like the one I took and carried over in Nam was the TRC-25, carried that backpack. And they had the smaller handheld, like walkie-talkie type of radios, and then for the other communications, there was like a big operation, it was inside like a, back in a truck, like a U-Haul truck we have. Transport, like that'd be the main operation communication. And I love that. I did.
Were you working in code at all, or was it?
Yeah, you worked in code. And,
state translation too, or?
Yeah, state translation too. You had to work in code. You had your the other code thing, I can't really call it. Other thing in code and Morse code like and state transmission and you had your ABCs and each one of them looked down to a different letter. If you call those letters off and substitute maybe one letter for a number, that would kind of confuse the enemy whatever it's supposed to be, you know. Yeah. So if they got hold of your transmission signal, they couldn't make the code down.
Yeah. Pass anyway. Yeah. I'm sure they could have. Okay. After you finished your radio training, and then what happened?
I had about 3 or 4 days leave there, and I hung around California area.
Again?
Yeah, and they had to go to the air base. Had to get tested order for overseas duty. I kind of figured where I was headed, but I couldn't get a register.
Okay, what month would we be in now? In
my say probably June
of what year?
69.
69. Now, had things really been getting hot over in Vietnam by this time?
Because we was in service, we were getting no news reports. What you heard on Beacon Larry or whatever, you know. But we didn't take much attention to it. We just had a good time. So, that's about time. Of course, 68 was the test, and it's a minute of that. As I read back now on this, and I was over right after that.
Where did you go to catch your flight then?
At some air base there in California. I can't figure out exactly what air base it is. Air Force Air Base.
Okay, and you flew out on a...
Flew out of that on a Continental Airlines.
Continental?
Never will forget that. Continental, they had the... Back then they had their slogan was the airplane with the golden tail. It was silver with the golden tail. It was a Continental Air, like their insignia, whatever.
Is that something derogatory by the time the guys got finished with it, with the golden tail?
Yeah, so a lot of us went over on regular airlines, and most of them took over Air Force. To take you over. We had to stop in Hawaii for a refuel. That was paying us about an hour over an hour, but we couldn't go anywhere to pick up any souvenirs or any gift shop or anything, because we were only allowed to stay in one certain area specific from getting into the actual terminal. So we stopped out of this time anyway.
Now this was a plane load of strictly Marines.
Strictly, well, I wouldn't just say it's Marines. Strictly a lot of military personnel. There was some Navy on there, there was some Army, and a few Air Force guys. Just a mixture of a few.
No women?
Yeah, stewardess.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I've been on airplanes before, traveled with this. And the first time I ever been on an airplane, it was a regular airline that had 7 to 8 stewardess. They were about 200 some of us on the airplane anyway. That's kind of, that's unusual. But they wouldn't like regular flights you take from here to New York. You know, they had strictly their own way. These ladies sit down and play cards with you, talk to you. If you wanted to, you know, you see them, you know, it was getting kind of, close we got there, the few people, you know, we kind of got first kind of quiet, could have heard us hands on thing, but the few of her kind of blocking the morale back up, you know. That was kind of nice, you know.
You flew from Hawaii then to...
Back into Okinawa. And we had stayed there about 2 weeks, or 2.5 to 3 weeks. Can't really time it, but the first time getting our gear sent over and getting more gear to go over. It was like a regular day. I didn't go outside the base, my son did, I'm supposed to, you know. And from there, then it started to kind of get to me. Now, I'm getting this far away from home. Never been as far as home. I'm getting closer to something where I don't know what to expect. Maybe had to do a few more updates, more training, you know, kind of read material, and you had questionnaire a few things. Then we went on over on learned the name.
Who took you from Okinawa to Da Nang?
The same airline.
Continental? Okay. And anything unusual happened at Da Nang?
Well, when we was getting ready to land, course, these little windows on the airplane, kind of, you got all the stages pulled down. They said to have everybody to pull down because get closer into the restricted area that no aircraft supposed to be flying in, you know, and that was put a pot out of somebody's seat. So they didn't really come out to a pot shot seat, but we figured that it was.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while we sneak the peek out the window to pull the seat back down. And I think, if I remember right, we were going to land about 3 times. We couldn't, because they was bombing the airstrip there. It had metal runway. PDs out there trying to fix it so they get it down. We were unarmed anyway doing this. I think we took about 4 times before we landed. And the airline didn't actually really stop to a dead stop to get us off, kind of coast it. Because they didn't want to, you know, it was an American airline, it wasn't a military airline. It was kind of with the back seat and the 2 side doors, and just kind of like somersaults out of that burger. So it was metal runway, but they had some foam stuff, so foam padding thing there, kind of people get banged up too bad. You guys, they get kind of banged up and bruised. That guy gets on whatever. They had a low cross, and somebody there was shooting off the mountains that bombing the airplane. And off those lanes, you called there and they throwed him in 16 after him. You know, they had 2 Navys with it. And you know, that's the initial, bigger hit initial shock. You're getting off the airplane and you're crawling for the shooting at you. You got a weapon, all you got, right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Where's your baggage?
Well, it was coming up behind us. But you know, there were people there to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
So after about an hour of that, it was all right. And then they had brakes up there, they had wooden brakes. And it was like a boot camp again. You had all the faster buildings, and then you had all your freedom you want. Nobody tell you when to go where, and do what you want to, but you couldn't go outside the certain area. You had the mess hall, you had the PX, you had the bike and things. You had a mixture of South Vietnamese, that would be called the Republic of Vietnam. That's what you was trying to help. Was running around there too, and of course the Marines kind of taught them guys how to do it. They were Marine uniforms. So it's not too bad. And then once we did get there, and they'd get orders to go to a certain place before us to land. 2 buddies I was to sign up with, they went to certain different places, and I went to another place. So that's getting right into them until later on. So,
Where did they send you?
they set me up around, I'll say around River Valley. Some of these names from the map you got here, Georgia. Might be some of the stuff. Cubai, Way, Marion, and there's rivers. It's named after this one of these backwards, and it's called River Hanoi. The river's not on here.
Okay.
Down north of the Da Nang area, like Way, Cubai, then down south a little bit, and then it went one country further. That's why I spent lots of time around the main area, north and down.
Okay, Way, I think we better spell Way.
Yeah, Way, that's spelled H-U-E, but they pronounce it Way.
Okay,
And Cubai is spelled 2 words, C-U-P-H-U-B-A-I, they all spell Cubai. Way.
What was that other one that we were looking at? How do you spell that?
H-O-I-A-N.
That's 2 words also.
Yeah, 2 words.
Are you were right close to
the DNZ, not too far from it. The DNZ is what we call the 17th parallel line.
Right.
That divides from North and South Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real close to it. Sometimes we got to land way, and they were west of Wayne.
Now I'm going to assume, now maybe I'm wrong, I'm going to assume that when you land at Da Nang, first of all, you guys were scared to begin with.
Yeah, right.
In the 4 passes over the airfield and having to roll out of the airplane while it's going. And then the place was being shelled, is that correct, where you were landing?
Right.
And then they ship you from this replacement depot, they ship you right up to Da Nang. Then how did you feel?
Well, the airship wasn't Da Nang.
I mean, Way.
Way?
Yeah.
Well, it's about 2 weeks trip for you. They just sort of do what you need to do to, of course, they look all up. Now the plane didn't get really scared again.
Wow.
We went to once in a while. Well, I first got in out in the field, what you call it, went to the base area or rear area, out in the field. It wasn't too bad daytime. Nighttime, they had to watch out for sniper attacks or trip wires. You got walking around.
Did you operate out of, what did you operate out of? A fire base or?
Up there on the perimeter, we set in the perimeter all the time. There was a few times we had fire base in it.
But you just up on the line, you were in, what outfit were you with?
Oh, I was 3rd Marines.
3rd Marines. That's an infantry division, right?
Yeah, right. See, I actually was in the L Company, I sent for Lima Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines, 1st Marine Division.
Okay.
Okay. Mostly infantry, ground troops.
Yeah.
And then when they asked the volunteers to go out and check through the area, they had asked for reconnaissance, and everybody that got reconnaissance training or the MOS would fall out for after anyway. And I didn't really want to speak up and know. I told them I'd let them know I had it. And they knew it anyway, so I got picked for that, whether I was volunteer or not. Yeah. And then they want somebody to that to radio. Well, I had radio with me, radio communication, so I said radio net. That's the only time I got with a text of a fire shot at, or if we ever had to shoot back in a hairy situation. So, saying radio, they'd want to shoot that guy first.
They kill him when they can't get any.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
They shoot the radio operator. Of course, you always had a corpsman when we shoot up to your Navy medic. They'd shoot the radio man, shoot him too. Because you didn't have radio communications, and what was hurt, and if he couldn't take care of you, the rest of you was all done for. And, I think we'd kind of steal you. Yeah. But I didn't let it bother me too much.
Okay, you'd go out from your perimeter. You had an established perimeter. Yeah. And you would go out from perimeter looking for.
See, the Vietnamese is actually smart. People don't realize that. They've been fighting. I was up on Brookhouse since the French couldn't even get over there. They got out. We got in to help them. They'd be in caves and whatnot and underground. And you can never fire. They could shoot at you, but if you shoot back, you didn't even hit him. Hardly ever. Then I had to check out for where the cave was and had them dug in. I think you took them, they had bunkers built through inside the hill, so you couldn't hardly see them. Like you actually walk up through it right by them, and it's too late if they was there. Oh. And how far? The villages, or that villages that come down from the north, come in and set up like supply camps for North Vietnam, communist forces, terrorists. The Viet Cong was a different group too. You had to fight, and you had to find out where these things were at. You had no idea, but had to kind of go in, a few guys, and just make sure you didn't shoot somebody that,
Okay, how would you get out into the field? Walk? Helicopter?
Mostly helicopter.
Helicopter.
That's why you get out. Once in a while, we got, like, if I missed a helicopter, if you got a missed helicopter one time, like the rear area, we got something like a supply truck going in that general direction. Yeah. To get out to where you were. Yeah, right, to get out to the unit with that.
Yeah, but you were going through the villages then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Highway 1.
Yeah. What was your reception in the villages?
When we went through, we didn't stop in the villages, because we was there at supply truck there back in 4x4. Yeah.
Were they selling
No, the villages was actually, you see, in South Vietnam, they was friendly countries trying to help the South Vietnamese to save freedom. They didn't want to be communists no more than us American people wanted to be communists. They were actually friendly. But then you had to watch out for the terrorists and the Viet Cong. That's a mixture of both South Vietnamese and North Vietnamese.
Okay, they would be slipping in all the time.
Yeah, they slipping all over the place. Yeah. And a few times we had to go through and take a village out and take it away from the communist forces and get back to the South Vietnamese army, and then hanging out for a few days, and then go to them to leave. Yeah. That would be 3-4 weeks later. We'd go right back in the same village, take it back over again, because you got North Vietnam was there, communists, and you got the Viet Cong, and then these terrorists of both sides that didn't want to go in the first place. They had the opposition right there too. The same country was trying to help.
How would you take these? How large are these villages here, and how would you take them?
Well, villages wouldn't actually really be villages. Would be like the size of maybe something about the size of Urbana. Yeah. And that's exaggerating a little bit. They're a little bit smaller than that, really.
And how would you do? Go in there and do what?
Just, of course, if the communist forces in there, they knew you come in and you shooting at them, you have to kind of shoot back. If you will shoot them or you got shot. Yeah. I was the one that I didn't want to get shot. I wanted to try to make it through. Yeah. But too bad it didn't make it.
Well, you're out on these reconnaissance patrols and you're going through these villages and you still haven't been shot and you're still a radio operator, and then what happened?
Well, got shot a couple times.
You get wounded a couple times?
Got shot, if it wasn't for radio, I wouldn't be here today talking to you, bro.
Yeah, what happened?
I got shelled off. We sat in on the perimeter about time sundown. We didn't walk too much at night time. We kind of sit down at night time, kind of sit the perimeter, big old foxhole or whatever, stand behind some brush or something kind of high. We laid down on the ground, and started sleeping on the ground. Come take people like I watch away like an animal. So, I got caught on that third wheel. By the time we came in, they fired off on the hillside. And I had the radio at that time. And I was doing a bid to the Air Force so we can get some help out. And they was firing us off the hill from over here. And the big coordinates, like reading the map, so far down the road and pinpoint where you're at. And you figure out where they're shooting from. But they couldn't get all the communications out because they shot at me and it hit my radio and it spun me up. And,
we were talking about what did you get hit with?
I suppose the cut metal off something they shot off that.
The
Mortars, or they hit something else first, like a truck or a Jeep, or they had something there, or trailer, something, and the cut metal was flying up. That stuff goes off, but it just throws things on there, pieces of metal.
Yeah.
And I think it's radio.
It hit your radio and not you?
Hit the radio, yeah. It just happened to be my back. But the guy in front of me, he hit right most of the hardest hit of it. And, he didn't make it too bad.
Killed him instantly?
Yeah, I wouldn't say kill, but, it did do it. So,
yeah.
He just survived out of that.
Yeah. Okay, then, are you bleeding, or?
Well, really, not that much really to affect me. Going to do something. All I had done was 45. And the two really get 45 pistol, and I didn't much touch me. I just had big mortars and shoot off the hill or the head. It wasn't too bad when they did. They came up with for it finally. He's on the radio and they got me. I survived that, but I wasn't too bad. And you got really sick 3 or 4 to 5 weeks when they do it on the field. When they bring it back to your rear, they let you rest for 3-4 days, sometimes a week, and you get back out. That's not nice. You're not there all the time.
Did you have a ranch by this time, or?
Yeah, I was E2, PS3. I moved to right. You used either one or 7. I was up a little triple, but I think I still feel I could have it, but I didn't get it done. I found out another nest that got shot at really bad.
You went back in after this? Did the helicopter pick you up, or?
Yeah, helicopter picked up medevac running. I got medevac running now. I was still about 4.5, 5 minutes into it.
Let's talk about the first incident where the radio got shot up. You didn't go out on a helicopter. Did you all go out together then and come back together? Or?
No, you didn't go up together and come back. We just kept taking people out and replacing them. They didn't put the whole company out. And bring them back. No, they come out and say, 4 of you guys will go here. And then we're going to bring some more back in. And they all go from there. We had 2 areas we were out there out of. One was Hill 55, one was Hill 37. That was mean. You wouldn't all together all at once. Sometimes you meet the same guys, and next time you got next day out in the field, you'd be the people all together.
But you weren't hurt bad enough the first time when the radio got hit to...
There was some kind of hospital or something, no harm.
Okay. Then after this incident, they got the air support, and obviously you went back to... Okay. Then what happened to get wounded the next time?
About the same type of deal, really. Come out to the radio, I had to watch the sound. You got no antenna on it, so you had to bring it down and you went to the radio, you got to bring the antenna down. So they still, the written news wasn't really done. They were smart what we thought, they're still smart. So, you had to watch it. And I got in the fire fight last time, this time was in the company that got bombarded. So some of the guys were foot timers, about ready to... Those kills about it. I saw all the 50 minutes on that, so I was 10 minutes. I think about 6 maybe. Of course, now, I'm not saying all Vietnam veterans done this, but a few of them, they took time to get on this funny weed, the Mary's weed, the marijuana weed, or something like that. Well, it wouldn't make sense. It'd be like alcohol, you lose your coordination and stuff. I'd have been trying. But, that's when the company got bombarded out and fired up on. And I'm one of about 6 survivors that company.
Where were you this time?
With the company out in the field.
Out in the field. What, were you near any village or landmark or?
They was sitting in the pillar. We just got both sitting in that floor to get ready to cover us to move out. And we got bombarded and that time. Okay.
What did they hit you at this time?
Over the head. I thought maybe it might have been emergency in the head. The whole company was about 2 or some people sitting in that company. That was a small company sometimes. I told them to quit trying to get ready to let's see about it.
This is our company?
Yeah. Still probably else something.
Okay. And you get hit with mortars and rockets and...
Yeah, they really got it there. It's just kind of hard to look back on now exactly. You live at few moments. I remember when I took the labor for 2 days, 2 nights at least. And that's how I like to play good. So him out there going through there, the rock set wasn't milk and do that. And see what I can do after that. After this kind of week.
They were doing scavenging day and night, or
after they bombarded Hitler.
yeah.
They 2 days later come out for survivors. There was me and about 6 other guys, and 5 other guys, and the rest of them still alive. Made them up to fall out to Marion, 1st Med Battalion. Really good man.
And what wounds do you have?
The shrapnel wounds is about her leg. A few guys was out there had legs missing, arms, and pretty bad health. Yeah, that's it. All the time I was still overseas, I spent more time in hospitals in the States than I did overseas.
Yeah. What did they do? When they met about you, what did they do?
Well, there couldn't be no sober time for a while. They get my wounds kind of dressed up and cleaned up so I'd be able to walk around and I just couldn't, when I went from there to an Air Force plane back in the States, and I went up to Alaska, we flew the plane. And I was in the Great Lakes, Illinois. I spent over a year in Great Lakes, Lake Hampton, we got a hospital there. And then I went from there back to Marion, and I couldn't get back into the fire the way before. I felt like a different person in the way I thought I was. And I had all this rejection from the American public. My mother was getting killed out with me or something like that. And I went to one of the VA hospital probably half a dozen times or more. I got married to a high school sweetheart, but I didn't work out last about 3 months. And then she had me committed, and then VA was looking for it, and then I went back to work for Fire, and I couldn't have to place running machinery. So I put me in the warehouse at Mary's Fire, and I just couldn't keep up, had a routine that told me I always do. I just couldn't sit back in like I had before I went. And I went back to VA again.
Alcohol or drugs had nothing to do with it?
Yeah, when I first came back, yeah, like I said, I first lost the nose, booze, and then a few booze, and alcohol. I thought at the time that would be alright. Well, it was. And that's the day after I flew to the field, so.
Well, how about Agent Orange? Are you close to that at all?
I have no idea if I was or not, but they always kept telling me you go get tips for it. Of course, since then, I'll tell you hospital. I just don't want to be in the hospital. I don't get better training, or better counseling, better treatment. My wife goes with me, my second wife. Something about and I checked those, but I don't think they really check them. All you do is give you x-rays and those blood tests. I mean, you have that every year to figure anyway.
Yeah. They'll do the same thing. You think pretty well now you got your act together on the road? And
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Great. That's
because I'm trying to get some more Vietnam veterans and others trying those outlying areas and get together.
What happened on the drug situation? What's your assessment of it?
What's my idea of that?
Yeah. What happened and why did they use it? And
well, if you're out in the field, you don't know alcoholics in the world, like they bring you in so much trouble. Them guys get on that stuff somehow, that's another deal. This is good tech stuff. I mean, it's like a relieving a few moments when you're getting shot at, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and they take a drag off the joke. It kind of relieved the mind. I don't think it was really right, but you guys did, and I know I didn't try it.
did they try to stop anybody from using it?
It's kind of hard to stop it.
I mean, the officers didn't try to stop it?
I didn't first see it, so they kind of hide it.
Yeah.
It's like to be out in the street and you hide stuff.
Yeah.
It's ways around things.
Yeah. What were the relations between the whites and the blacks?
When as far as being in a unit, you get on. I got along with the blacks as well as the whites. You know, I got along with the blacks and the whites over there. If I had a good day, that was fine. And then he'd be away from me. I was To me, the skin didn't make me taller. The skin didn't make me bigger. It's all brothers. It's all very nice together. We're all ready to help people move together to do stuff. They didn't want it. They didn't want to be kind. I had no problem with it.
Were there any problems?
There's been isolated cases, I think, but I never heard of them. Certain other buildings I kept pretty hard. That being incredible.
Yeah, because you guys got along. Did you get any I&I, or you weren't there long enough?
Yeah.
You weren't there long enough for I&I?
You guys know they had out there with Australia or someplace like that. It's going to be good story.
How about the terrain? What was the impression of the climate and the terrain of Vietnam?
We got two seasons, hot and dry and wet and dry.
Yeah.
Wet and dry would be rain and be hot. Hot and dry would be hot and just dry.
Hot and dry and wet and hot. Huh?
Yeah.
Hot and dry and hot and wet. Huh?
Looking for a map here over here and food terrain.
Did you happen to see that TV program the other day where they went back and they photographed all these villages and places where the war had been? Educational TV. It'll be on again. But they did have a defense minister from Vietnam that incidentally been a pig, last pig. And they had the black market in the office. So
yeah, right. Over I was had that too.
Right.
You just use
Still
this.
running today. It's running today.
You see how that over I was we just use this and knock kind of forces out. You know, if you had the means of cutting yourself, you would fire on and shoot them. And you can find some weapons they had. It was all American made in 16. So 14 was all American made. What jeeps and trucks they had, if you caught them in it, it was all American made. At that time even.
They were just stealing them and
whatever they did. They just had big things and markings on them.
Yeah.
Because most of that stuff you just shipped over to help yourself get in these forces to begin with, and you might have got it off then.
You have a pretty strong feeling that you were over there doing the right thing that you were asked to do by the government. Obviously, everybody else didn't have that same strong feeling. But this man made the point, this defense minister made the point, that if we went over there to help liberate everyone, and we're obviously willing to spend all kinds of money and everything else, why don't we spend some money now in terms of reparations to Vietnam? What's your feeling on that?
You like the whole Vietnam, it's all kind of something now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say making villages could be something about our mission. It's still over there. Ladies had live science, the American War, still fight it in late 82. I'd tell them to live it, I just make sure that there's some way, if they need somebody, some kind of help in some way or another, I would say, try to help them. But draw a line. They give you this, so much, look so much, if you need milk supplies or food or something, but count for our guys first.
That's logical. How do you have to, what's your evaluation of your medical treatment since you've been using it? And,
I'm using it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 2.
Yeah. And what's your evaluation of it?
And the treatment I'm getting.
Yeah. The treatment you've had and the treatment you're getting.
Good.
Good?
Some of it could be a little better, but overall it's good. I was going there and maybe it's all right, but I went to Fort Wayne now and I seem like I'm getting better treatment there.
What does your treatment consist of now?
Well, Marion had diagnosed with something different, but I went to Fort Wayne, I thought we got some care, and I said, no, Marion's all wrong. But all I knew was going to outpatient, and Marion VA or inpatient, and VA, they had got us wrong. Diagnosis, I went to Fort Wayne now, and we ain't got that. Until I got it, I got PDST, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's hard to come back to deal with it. Tired if you left. Come back to deal with it. And it's a whole different. So they figure that out. So you don't need that medication they didn't give you. Take this medication. Do a lot better. So we counseling. Got right there. And it worked out great.
Do you use counseling too?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Good?
It is.
Capable? And
well, sometimes you get a few guys that you take a vet center, Fort Wayne does that counseling on that. And they'll show a movie or something, or show a film about some boxing and everything, and then have a discussion on it. And of course, a few guys, will break down kind of teary-eyed or, cry a little bit or something, but that's good. That's what it's supposed to do. to get that thing out. Let's try about something and try, and it be. All my trouble in there is shooting ball inside me, then all of a sudden the wrong person came along and just have to set me up the wrong way. Well, I was just like a bomb. I wasn't right. I'm getting ready home and getting good treatment.
Tell me about your trip to the Vietnam Memorial.
Oh, actually,
was that a moving experience?
Yes, it was for me. That was I had a chance to go with the guys at the vet center in Fort Wayne, took a bus to West D.C. And so it was in 1983. To the wall, they call it. Vietnam Memorial. And every 2 days, I couldn't do myself to walk around that first day. The second day when I left, I said, well, I'm going to have to do it now because I'll be on there to get a chance to do it again. But I may not know them guys on there, but I might have passed them one time or the other and do a medevac down there or do a different company for areas. And I would put my hand in each one of the pages, I call it. I got there and realized on my hands and knees, crawling, and bawling my tears out, and eyes out. That's the first day I tried home in 16 years, and then I picked me up. When I got feeling bad about that, when I come back, I thought, well, maybe my name should be on the welcome guys. Maybe I shouldn't be here. But I got cast on that. And the reason I'm here, the reason them guys are on the wall, because what people like me know, they're veterans like the other veterans of the other war. Our time there should be part of too. And there's that guy's missing. That's up to people like me and the public know you want guys back. I personally feel I want them back. Because if our PWs and IAs don't come back and our task force and all of us getting out there, I think for myself, I'm not really came home. Part of us is still missing. Over there on Twitter and IAs. I'm strongly behind that too.
Did you think that the wall would affect you that much?
No, I kind of didn't know.
Is it pretty? Or is it
it's pretty. It's well made. It's well nice. So I think the last year they had them two successful. One of those, and I had two.
I heard there's some others that they hated to go to see the thing.
Well, I kind of hated to go too. I kept telling my wife, you got to kept saying, you got to go, wants to go. And I said, no, I don't want to go. And I said, yeah, I'll go. And I didn't want to go. And I'll go. I said, I didn't want to go. And I finally went. Okay. There's a lot I talked to too, didn't you? If you want to see it, you don't. It's like they've been reminded of something bad. Yeah? The way it is, but in a way, that's long overdue.
What's your whole feeling about the whole thing then, the war and everything else, and now that you look back on it?
It's hard to say, right? So, like if I was over there again, did I do it? I did. A lot of folks think you're free country, and they think you help. You should help them to a lot to extent. They don't get far involved with it like they did like Vietnam. Or Lebanon deal we got in too. Well, it takes too many lives. Something's wrong. Yeah, I did, yeah.
How old are you now?
36.
36. Kids and everybody, normal and...
My kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, except the oldest one. If I got to be part of these noise, he's got some few problems with the deformity in his chest or toxic and stuff. He's had a lot of bad problems with pneumonia his first year and a half since he was born.
How old is he?
He's 11.
You doing okay in school?
Yeah, but he's in this small mentally handicapped class at the West End. He's not in regular.
He's doing okay?
He's okay in that, yeah.
Does he get along with the family and everything? Yeah.
And the other two kids are, I suppose, better, so they're going regular too, and we don't need to.
You never know, do you? What do you do with your free time now?
My free time? I'm totally DSW all the way. I reinstate. And I'm working with the state coordinator, National League of Families, and the state Indiana coordinator, National League of Families, in Congress, Pete Caudill, and the lady that helps him and cooking there on PW and IEC. And I did an overview hospital myself, visited a few guys in the Vietnam building, the ward, and talked to them. The other day, they were going to show the film. I'm part of the Vietnam Building Union. And that's So this after we got away too, so that it's kind of late. We're talking about this too.
You feel like
Probably
you,
a family and stuff, you know.
you feel like you can relate to them much better than many of the rest of us?
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of those guys don't want, like I said, I'm trying to get some guys together for their some group, and it's hard. I mean, you all of a sudden you know somebody that you talked to before, they didn't know his better, and they can relate to him better, and that's they just think. Because we're all the same age, we've all been there, we're all experienced. Not the same situation, same thing.
In the years that you've been back, has anyone ever asked you what you did, or whether you
Not
did
so recently.
or whether you did a good job, or
Not so recently.
wonder why recently?
I don't know. I think because I feel as if Americans always helped other countries never lost a war type. So Vietnam wasn't really a classified war, but when people get killed and shot, war moves. But they didn't want to be reminded because that country out and be lost. And so Vietnam veterans themselves was kind of like that peace and fire. We stand clear, we don't want to hear about it. Nothing. He didn't want to talk about it. American president didn't want us to talk about it. So I find a lot of Vietnam veterans don't want to get out and talk. It's the same there. What they're doing now with the wall and the memorial and what you see and what they're doing now makes it very welcome. We're going to leave. That's a lot of resentment on Vietnam veterans. Because some of them want to come out and talk through it. Because it's been too long, and now they think they ought to stay in this stuff. It's not right. So I'm trying to change that. Trying to make the public to Vietnam veterans. Hey, we can just like any other war.
Well, I think this has been a great interview, Mike, and I appreciate it. And
You're welcome, I think.
this is George Dingledy, and I'll shut it off right here.